Restoration is brought to you by
Darling, find your beautiful.
It's a good day, every day.
Nestle, good food, good life.
Hisense, everyday prices for everyday people.
Yes, extra long sanitary pad for extra comfort.
We got yes protection.
Hello, it is my pleasure to welcome you to this week's episode of Restoration. My name is Stacy and I hope you're going to have a wonderful time with us today. Before we keep going, please, let's take a word from our sponsors.
Me? Let's go. I'ma keep winning till the world stops spinning. I'ma keep winning till the world stops spinning. I'ma keep winning till the world stops spinning. I'ma keep winning till the world stops. Independent women, let's go. Keep it up for me, come on. Winning till the world stops spinning. Keep up with me, come on, let's go. I'ma keep winning till the world stops spinning. Independent women, come on, now let's get it. I'ma keep winning till the world stops spinning. Africa, you feel me, come on, now let's get it.
New styles from Darling, find your beautiful.
Breakfast good day, every day.
Nestle, good food, good life.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
We are a people of choice and preference. Our choices determines the quality of our lives. Our preferences depends on vast reasons. Hisense has all the reasons.
Hisense inverter fridge is very elegant. Efficient cooling system that keep your food fresher.
Hisense means quality, long-lasting quality.
Hisense AC is energy efficient, it's super chill, and it does not make noise. Watch all your seasonal football matches on Hisense TV. Only Hisense gives you 5 years warranty. Hisense everyday prices for everyday people.
Hisense, life reimagined.
I remember the days I just couldn't go to the gym because it was that time of the month. Yah's extra long sanitary pad took the worry away. Easy.
Yah's comfort, I got Yah's confidence, I got Yah's.
The new Yah's extra long sanitary pad is the joy of every woman. It is extra absorbent and fits perfect. Don't allow anything to hold you back when it's that time.
Wow.
Yes.
Feel confident, stay fresh.
Hi, is it supposed to be that time of the month? Yes.
I got Yah's confidence, I got
Yes.
We got Yah's protection, I got
Yah's extra long sanitary pad for extra comfort.
We got Yah's protection.
Breakfast good day, every day.
Nestle, good food, good life.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Restoration. And a very big thank you going out to our donors, La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, to GTP, ABS Collection, Danceman Zodiac. Ophelia, thank you very much for my outfit. To GH Beauty Artistry, thank you very much for my makeup. To Abiba Locks, thank you for my hair. And Stacey's Boutique GH, thank you very much for my shoes. But always, I will tell you, I need you to own lands. And this time, I am giving you some time to save and make the right choice. Between now and 31st of December 2019, tell yourself you're going to own 2 plots of land. Because when you do, you're actually going to get 1 free with Jim Ray Estates. So it's the buy 2, get 1 for free promotion. And it's at the West Palms Hills, which is just 15 minutes drive from Kaswa. That is where I will be leaving sometime. So if you want to be my neighbor, come on, place that call now. All you have to do, pick your phone, call Jim Ray, let them help you out. Buy 2 and get 1 for free. You have their numbers on the screen. So kindly call them now and tell them I asked you to call.
Restoration.
In life's journey, you would go on so many routes. And sometimes those routes are not designed for you to fail. They are routes designed for you to be strong. Routes designed for you to tell yourself that I have a lot more battles ahead. So let me prepare myself for those battles. And once you're able to embrace these journeys like this, you are sure to succeed. Our guest for today has been on so many journeys. 25 years of his life, he told one journey. Along the line, he decided to tour another. Our guest for today is the resident pastor of YAHWEH Temple, ICGC, Rev Ismaila Awudu. Man of God, how are you doing?
I'm good, Stacy.
We bless God. Yeah. And I'm really honored to have you here.
Thank you so much for having you also with me here.
And listening to your name or hearing your name, automatically we know that you're coming from the north. And we always have the perception that if you're coming from the north, you are a Muslim, or you could be a Muslim. How are you then a Reverend Minister?
Thank you very much, Stacey. And before I answer that, I want to congratulate you and your team.
Thank you very much.
I've been following you like you know already. And that day I didn't sleep throughout the night just to wait for the awards.
Oh, thank you so much.
Seeing you receiving the awards with your team was quite exciting. So I want to congratulate you for all they are doing.
Thank you.
So keep doing your good works, and more are coming.
Amen. Amen.
Like you rightly asked, I was born to Muslim parents. My father is a Dagomba from the northern region, Yendi to be precise. He comes from the tribe of the warriors, who actually are the custodians that protect the stool of the Dagbom land. So I'm from the Abdu tribe.
Oh, so you're royal.
Exactly. So my mom is from the northern part of Togo, Sogode to be precise, so she's a Kotokoli.
Okay.
And my dad is a Dagomba. We were born 7, 4 girls, 3 guys. But as fate will have it, we've lost 4, 2 ladies and 2 gentlemen. I'm the last born of the 7 family, actually.
Wow.
So I was born to Muslim parents. I was a practicing Muslim for 25 years. And as fate will still have it, at the age of 25 years, I had an encounter. That is what had landed me to become a Christian on that journey to still even be a pastor. It so happened that my life is intertwined with a lot of things. Basically, at childbirth, I had a lot of challenges with my health, where I'll have convulsions, seizures here and there. My mom had to run hither-scatter to be able to see to what they could do. Mm-hmm. So growing up, we lost my other siblings, like the senior ones, the firstborn, secondborn, thirdborn lead, fourthborn lead, fifthborn. Also, we lost the 6thborn as well.
What happened?
So I'm the 7th. Under strange circumstances, very, very strange circumstances. Some of them, when you say it, though we don't tend to be superstitious, but they were more full of a lot of spiritual connotations. Where my dad, actually, when he came from the north, what actually happened, the story he told us was that when they were giving birth to, when he was growing up, he was a twin. And he was with his brother. And then this shea butter tree, they were going to, it's predominant there. The shea butter tree spoke to the brother. And the brother died. So the mother woke him up at dawn and asked him to run to Accra. So ever since he ran and came to Accra and joined himself with learning and how to cook and all those, and joined the military, he didn't go back to his hometown. So when he gave birth to his children, after he has returned from the army and married my mother, my mom, as women we always have it, insisting that you cannot leave your family. You have to go and visit. You have to go and visit. And he kept insisting that he will not go because he was warned not to come back from his mother. But he felt, okay, time has elapsed, so we have to go back. They went back, and after coming back, the children start dying.
Whoa. Yes.
It might interest you to even know, when my father passed when I was elementary school class 6, the funeral was done, everything was done here, and as Muslim, after everything, traditionally, they carry the funeral also to Yendi to go and do it. Our village is Pontamale, actually. So they went, and also my 2 sisters followed, my senior and the one that I followed too were there. As we speak now, the one that I followed too she's having mental challenges. She had a dream that the stool, we are actually also the custodian of the tender god, which is, if anybody has been to Pontamale before, we'll tell you. So we actually hold sway to that power. She had a dream where the stool has come to sit on the head. More or less like a call, if I could say. But she didn't take it. As we speak now, it's been a challenge. It's only been the hand of God that she's now currently with even the children in Adan now staying with them. I had the challenge along the line when I was in secondary school. But fortunately, I had a spiritual man in the area who is also now passed. He's called Mensa Mensa, who came in and also put some medications through my nursery and all of that, and I really survived. Then came the time in my life where I need to go to the training college. Because after finishing elementary school Form 4, which was also a hassle, and actually I have to do menial jobs, I have to push trucks, I have to be a driver's mate, eat leftover food from the Nungwa Secondary School when they collect it to the pantry. I have to go and get it and also feed on it. Because after we lost our dad, nobody was there to support us again. So when I finished the elementary school Form 4, I happened to be in the north with my sister, who I said had the mental challenge now, with a husband. Incidentally, when I lived with them, they also took me to another journey of my life.
Whoa.
Though it was my sister and my husband, but the treatment wasn't that easy. I stayed with them, and afterwards, they said, well, my parents are poor. My mother cannot afford, so they cannot take me to school. I couldn't even write my common entrance, so I have to come back to the south. Stay 1 year ahead before entering into the training secondary school, which is Nungwa Preseko. Then secondary school, along the line, I couldn't also afford the school fees. So I have to drop out, and then went to help a man who was then working at food distribution, who would now ask me to bath he takes care of, he rears pigs. So I feed the pigs, bath the pigs, take care of the rabbits and all of that. Then I'll get something to live on before I go to school. So he now said, no, I cannot see, so he will help me. And eventually we got Tertiary Presby for me. So I joined Tertiary Presby at Form 3. That is why I completed my O-levels. O-levels, I didn't have money to pay for my school fees, for my registration fee. So on Monday when the registration was closing, at the economic class, extra Moras, if you have it, Mensa Memo those days, he was our economics master. So when I raised the issue, a mate of mine says he will help me. So he paid for my registration. Now, when I got it, the number was 450. I'm coming to why I switched, what happened, the transition.
Yeah.
The number was 450 that year that applied to Adan Teachers Training and now Adan School of Education. And out of it, they were picking only 150. The 150, there is protocol of 70.
Whoa.
So the rest is 80. Now, I don't know anybody there. I have no clue how I only have applied. So I only went to the school to check. The first list came out. My name was not included. So now I decided to come back and I felt something to go to my old school. So when I tested Presby, when I went, I was the drama club president then when we were in school. So the patron asked me, what am I doing? I said, oh, I've applied to the training college. He said, oh, my sister teaches there. So I went to see the sister and she said I should follow her to the school. We went, the principal said he was going somewhere, he's not available. That very day when the list has also been released, the list of 50 has been released. So it was there with 30. So I was now frustrated because that was my last hope.
Yeah.
There was no hope anywhere because of the stress and the challenge I was going through as young as I was and all of that. several times I've contemplated suicide, but anytime I try to, I have this edge that tells me, keep going, everything will be fine. I don't know where it's coming from, but it just makes me feel good and I'll move on. So when I came back, I remember when I was in the Presbyterian school, because I attended primary school, Nunga Presby. We normally stay, you know, those days, Christmas, they do perform plays. Yeah. And they will always make me perform Joseph. So I was Joseph in
Joseph will hardly back.
With Mary and all of that. So, in secondary school, I did BK, Bible knowledge, which I did very well. So I remember I said, no, I went to God, I went to prayer and I said, they said you are God and you help people. Christians have testified. I am at this crossroad. I want to tell you, if indeed you are as they said you are, I need to get admission to this training college. I don't know who can help me. But if you are able to do it and I get admitted and I get the support to go to the school, anything you want to do with my life, you can go ahead and do it.
And do it.
So I prayed a simple prayer, slept, woke up, and went to the school again to go and check the final list. Lo and behold, when I got there, I was number 13 on the list.
Wow.
So now I was admitted. So now I need to pay my fees. I need to get my trunk. I need to get my uniform, chobos, everything. I don't have it. So I went to pray again. And after that, I got my friend, Siki came in, gave me some money for my one. I was able to sew one shirt, my one white shirt, my one blue black trousers, and then one khaki trousers. Unfortunately, I was a hustler, so Katamanton was the best place we can all go. And those days, we know how to select it and how to go. So I went to get myself some shoes and some sandals. You know, normally these, now they perfected it, this Katamanton one. So I was able to get one for school. Then came the chobos and the trunk. A friend of mine whose sister was from Benkun Secondary School had just come home. So he also
Sister, thank you.
The trunk. And the carpenter friend got me the chobos. My mom could only afford shit because of the work she's doing. So I didn't have provisions. The kente, I was just telling my driver, it was like the kente I had was from a friend, but unfortunately, some, what do you call it? Cockroaches I've eaten, so there were holes in it. So when I put it on, I have to manage it so that you don't see it. And that is how come I landed in school. But I still did not joke with my education. I was serious with it. Now landed in training college. I have prayed. I've forgotten what I prayed for. One day I was sleeping. Then I had a dream. In that dream, I saw an evangelist with my senior sister's son, who is now also born again, who is also with our ICGC church in YAHWEH Ecclesia Temple, and very soon to be a pastor. So he was preaching and disturbing me. So I told him he should stop disturbing because I want to sleep. And he said he will not stop until I join him. So I got down furiously to come and beat him up. I didn't see him again.
Wow.
Now I became confused. Find myself on this building going around, then I found myself on a road. A narrow path with gravels all over. Ahead of me, which I could faintly see the back of two people, a man and a woman. I slipped. When I slipped, the gravel traveled from where I was, by whichever means, hit them, the back. So they turned and beckoned me to come. I was the only person on the road with them ahead. I went to them. When they asked me where I was going, I told them I'm confused. I don't know where I was going. But this is what happened. I said I should follow them. So I followed them and we entered into a church. The place was packed. Everybody was seated. Everything was going on. They were as if they were waiting for someone to come. So immediately we entered, the whole church started applauding and clapping and rejoicing. The chair that was left to sit on was the pastor's seat. Then they ushered me to sit on that chair. So when I sat on that chair, the excitement was uncountable. Then it happened that I woke up. Now, after everything, it was, whether coincidentally or what, I woke up during the afternoon prayer for my salat. Only when I woke up, I went to perform my ablution I was confused. I tried to recite, to start with my ablution, washing of my hands, then Googling, and then all of that. I couldn't do it. This was when we were on vacation, first year when I was on vacation. That's when I had this dream. So I went to tell my mom that this is what is happening to me. So she said, okay, then I should relax. Maybe with time,
you'll be fine.
I'll be fine and I'll get around it. So I took it like that. But the whole thing was disturbing me now. Then I started searching the Quran, reading the Hadith and all of those things. And so
you needed insights
and all of that. Took the Bible, reading. I went to my imams and ustazus, teachers of the whatever, just to ask them questions. And every question I ask them, the dream, when I relate to them, they say, yes, those things normally do happen. Yeah. Encounters happen in your dreams and all of that. But that's where it's leading to, they cannot tell me.
They can tell.
And I tell them my confusion as well. In the midst of all of that, I have to go back to school. School resumed. And when we went back to school this time, what happened was that we were having a science class where we were doing this study of the amoeba. And after doing everything, the lecturer marked something that I didn't like. So I went speaking about it. They asked me to see me in his office. So when I went, he asked me whether I'm a Christian. I said, I serve God. He said, no, he wants to know whether I'm a Christian. I said, no, I serve God. I'm a Muslim. I serve God and I pray. And he said, okay, but you want to share something with me? I said, well, I wouldn't mind. So then he started witnessing to me. For the first time in my life, I broke down in tears. I was so convicted that I didn't know what to do. And I ended up giving my life to Christ in the science lab.
Wow.
At the Teachers Training College. Now, the man who led me, he was then the XU patron. As we speak now, he's also a pastor now for ICGC at Akutia, Rev Ismaila.
Wow. So the people you meet today, you don't just meet them for meeting's sake. You meet them for a reason. So you do not have to take any meeting for granted. Because the people you see and despise, the people you see and you think you are too on top, or the people you see and you think, oh, whatever, could be the people who would link you to your ultimate lifeline. We are going to be back after our video break. And again, it is the Hisense Super Crazy Giveaway moment. So let's go and find out who our winner for this week is.
Restoration.
Come on. Keep up with me. Let's go. I'ma keep winning till the world stops spinning. I'ma keep winning till the world stops spinning. I'ma keep winning till the world stops spinning. I'ma keep winning till the world stops. Independent women, let's go. Keep up with me, come on. Winning till the world stops spinning. Keep up with me, come on, let's go. I'ma keep winning till the world stops spinning. Independent women, come on, now let's get it. I'ma keep winning till the world stops spinning. Africa, you feel me? Come on, now let's get it.
New styles from Darling. Find your beautiful.
GTP, timeless.
Breakfast good day, every day.
Nestle, good food, good life.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
We are a people of choice and preference. Our choices determines the quality of our lives. Our preferences depends on vast reasons. Hisense has all the reasons.
Hisense Inverter Fridge is very elegant. Efficient cooling system that keep your food fresher.
Hisense means quality, long-lasting quality.
Hisense AC is energy efficient. It's super chill and it does not make noise. Watch all your seasonal football matches on Hisense TV. Only Hisense gives you 5 years warranty. Hisense everyday prices for everyday people.
Hisense, life reimagined.
Breakfast today, every day.
Nestle, good food, good life.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
I remember the days I just couldn't go to the gym because it was that time of the month. Yah's extra long sanitary pad took the worry away. Easy.
Yah's comfort, I got Yah's confidence, I got Yah's.
The new Yah's extra long sanitary pad is the joy of every woman. It is extra absorbent and fits perfect. Don't allow anything to hold you back when it's that time.
Wow.
Yes, yes, yes.
Feel confident, stay fresh.
Hi. Is it supposed to be that time of the month? Yes.
I got Yah's confidence, I got.
Yes.
We got Yah's protection, I got.
Yah's extra long sanitary pad for extra comfort.
We got Yah's protection.
Breakfast today, every day.
Nestle, good food, good life.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
And now what you for 9 so yeah the Hisense super crazy giveaway bremo restoration so now what you say so yes I about a child na me say what ho na wo dwe say ye na me so da ben anom beba best ram na me bisa wa send a message. Send a message. Send your crampo na nim obia or pesho yasema. Ubetimi nominate sa nipa no. O nominate nipa no na uja wo number e be frɛ na wa kyerɛ baby anipa no wo. Na yakɔ surprise nipa no. We a restoration and a Hisense dwumadi. Mundi yachi ni enkohwɛ de nenso atɔ lie so. Hello Chris. To say
Nyame adom na wonso.
Adom ene mobro hu anyame wo ma yentime ho ye pa. Na yate se open restoration do.
Restoration there me pe Sunday be about 2:30 here. MCM TV or Joy Prime. Restoration there.
Wa ma me hu ne men campo yes ye da se. Na ma me bi so episode there he pa na wani je hu.
Ma hwe matankoma there. Mashe Becca dear, Mashe and Ama McBrown dear, but McBrown dear touch it because of only accident in our or share no program. So
share show na yeah, winya in crying she be feeling better. We show na winya.
Okay, I dear me who woman say celebrities be or why I am Matthew Mudin, but we are so do more baswa. I am person me share. Said the bear minya ebia nsema efa wo mu ho ana so say futu sembia ye nyina de bebo ye bra ti na ya metahwe
na afimu ye ne Hisense akwa aware bia aware na yakọ ne se na watwe bia ye beyi nipa baako ne yakọ akosra no na ya che na de every Hisense ho Hisense memra mecho Amcon electric ceramic steam iron wo boutique de wo de betwi wo niema so ama na ye shepe na nkrofo dru ha o mato na wo so anya sika gu potom na de e wo Hisense wo ye ni kan se ebo no edafom enye second hand e ye tear rubber e ba electronic memo obi andada wo
one Hisense
na me pa chance and meja no de na wo catch Hisense
oh Hisense de omuno ma omudi abani nyina na amanfo ani je ho na me nso me use omu television omu television no eni da wo say Enti high sense de ebekọ so ayisu om no ma.
Me say iron ne ye guy no wahu ase no. We ye can steam ye steam papa so wahu ase no. High sense had a romantic ye de adwuma no esi. Eye restoration high sense super crazy giveaway. Bra Chris enya ne ceramic iron.
Restoration.
So that is our winner for this week. And those of you in the studio, you know it's going to be your time very soon, right? Today, let's see what you take home. And our guest definitely is going to have his moment. You see how interesting it is.
Yeah.
Science lab, you get convinced that this is really the path you wanted to take. That was in the science lab. Yeah. Were you thinking of how this news was going to sound in the ears of your mother, who is a Muslim, who has raised you with the principles of Islam? Were you thinking about her?
For a moment, within that atmosphere, I was not thinking of anything.
Nothing mattered.
Which normally happens when you are deep in the presence of God in prayer. You know, you might be having fears, troubled, but when you enter into prayer and you are worshiping, as if the whole world is in your hands, you feel like you're on top. So within that period, the presence of God was so strong that actually was what convicted me, because I was very stubborn. It's not easy for you to witness to me to get me all my days. But for that day, for me to break
down,
and it means that there was something happening. But afterwards, now I came into the reality. The reality is now how I'm going to, just like you're asking.
Now, what about
exactly.
First, now,
so for a break, because I was in school, it was very easy. The Muslim community in school started having challenges with me, but it's like I didn't have much to worry about. And then I was just zeroing in, meeting this man in the lab, and then he'll be taking me through his sections, the Prince series, trying to build me up. Then school vacates and I come home.
Hey.
And thinking of what to tell my mom. I remember when I was young, I was finding a fire for her when she was preparing food, and I said, one day when I grew up, I'll marry a Christian. She nearly tore me apart.
Just for thinking.
For thinking. And now I have become. So you can imagine how it's going to be like.
Hey.
And during those days, because I speak Ga, Fanti and Hausa and all of that, when the imams were preaching, I interpret.
Oh.
And I call for Azan as well. So everybody likes me within the community of the Islam community, the Nungwazongo and all of that. So you can imagine the whole battle. So eventually what happens is that I'll be going to church, but they don't know I'm going to church. I'll just tell them I'm going to town, and I have to lie and just carry no Bible. I'll go and sit in and listen. So I started listening from Assemblies of God. I'll go and sit there and listen to them and come home. Then a man I knew now says, oh, he attends ICGC, which is Baden Powell Memorial. So I should follow him. So I got actually born again in 1993 in the Adult Teachers Training College. So by 1994, I joined ICGC Baden Powell Memorial. When I got there, I met a lady who was my mate in TPSS, who was with the children's ministry. So she took me to the children's ministry, and I got myself acquainted with the children's ministry because I was I'm being in training school. So I was combining that as well. So I was learning. All of this, I've not been able to still tell. No, I was just managing it behind the scenes.
Hey.
So I got Holy Ghost filled in ICGC. I got baptized and went through the discipleship class of 10 weeks. I was still...
10 weeks, still?
I was hiding.
No news.
So I'll go back to school and come back. Then one day I was caught because I have a Bible, and so at a certain point I switched from not going, but I can have this Bible, but wrap with the graphic and work out. But for how long can you hide?
Yeah.
So eventually I was caught and I have to confess it. You can't imagine what happened.
Tell me.
There was fireworks. As if the ground should open and let me just disappear. Then she informed my uncles in Ashama and everything. They all descended on me. They invited me to come. They said maybe a woman has deceived me. And maybe I've seen a lady. Because of that, I'm doing that. Because of what I was going through, I was a bit naughty too when it comes to women and all those things.
Oh, okay.
So they were thinking that maybe to one of them. And I said, no, this one is not like that. It's something I'm feeling. And this is the challenge I'm going through. When I try to pray, I cannot. But I feel, they said, no, it cannot be. So if I'm still insisting, then they have nothing to do with me. So my uncles, they didn't want to mind me again.
So they disowned you?
Yes, they disowned me. My mom couldn't because, about time, she still cannot because I'm the only boy for him. She loves me as well. So though she was in pain, she still cannot say, don't come home. So I have to still be around and still managing it. But eventually, I witnessed to her. Though she was buried a Muslim, she received Christ before she died.
Wow.
And anytime I go to the house and people are, the children, some of them are not feeling well, you say, oh, she started calling me also for that I should pray for them. And anytime I pray for the children, pray for anybody, the person gets healed. Without me even knowing what gift I have, because mine is just I've been saved, and that is all. Serving God and going to church. Then eventually, my mom passed. She passed when I was in school. And when I got the news, before I came, they buried her.
Oh.
Because they said they will not allow me to see her. But I have no part with them. Try as I may, they didn't even make me see where my mother's grave was.
Till date?
Till date. It will interest you also to know in this revelation that the man and the woman I saw in the dream who took me to the church were actually Reverend and Mrs. Adansam.
Wow.
Eventually, when I met them, took me to his house. Immediately I met the wife, then the whole dream played back.
Then you remembered, I know this face.
Then the church eventually that I was taken to, that the church was handed over to me, is today ICGC. And I am a pastor now in International Central Gospel Church.
Whoa. I mean, do your uncles see you? Have they seen what God has done with you?
Great. That day at the funeral, like I said, they nearly lynched me. So everybody, in fact, they just like Jesus was going to be attacked and the disciples flee. That's what happened.
Scattered.
They all scattered. The Christian, they couldn't stand it, so they all left. And I was left alone. But I survived it and came out. For 10 years, so when I was going to marry, for instance, and I sent word to them, I went to them to tell them that I want to marry. They told me that they have nothing to do with me. If it's in the mosque, they would have come. But since I have refused to follow them, I should go ahead. So my covenant family leaders and my covenant family members were actually who went in to ask of my wife's hand in marriage for me.
Whoa.
And you can imagine my wife is a Gan from Teshi. And they understand tradition. Me, I'm coming from the north. And for people who are not your family to go in to ask your woman's hand in marriage for you, it's so happened that the father have traveled. She was a civil engineer, so he's been to the north and everywhere, so he understands us and knows us. And the senior sister, one of the senior sisters, because I taught in Dallas then, Dallas Preparatory, Tesh University. I was a teacher there for some time. So at Dallas Preparatory, I taught the sister's children without knowing that's the sister.
Oh.
And those are the children. And the children like me so much because of the way I am with the children and all those things. So everything. So the day she was going to introduce me to the sister, when we got to the house, then the children started shouting, "Teacher Ismaila, Teacher Ismaila, Teacher Ismaila." So the mother said, "Do you know him?" He said, "Yes, that's our teacher." He said, "Okay, so this is why you speak." Then he said, "Oh, if you are the one, then I've given you the permission."
Wow.
So that helped me. So she went down to speak on my behalf to the father.
Oh.
So that became easy for me.
So those children gave you 3 points.
I'm telling you, straight. And that is how I got the access to get married to my wife.
Wow.
And it's through a child also. In Sunday school, I was teaching. You know, I told you that we started La Parole Beach Hotel. That was in 1998. I worked here.
Whoa.
When they were now constructing the place, we have some small rooms. Whilst we were going there, they were adding and all of that. We saw the prototype of all of these areas. And we were even asked to recommend names and all of that and whatever. We went through all the trainings before I left here to Top Industries as the PA for the, the CEO. So I was in La Palma when I married my wife. So when I married her, and we were there for 10 years within my time of marriage with her, we'll be 20 years in marriage next year, March.
Whoa.
Yes. So, and I'll be 50 years next year, March. You are kidding me. Yes. and your sister, my wife, that you know, will be 49 years next year.
Whoa. You are cheating nature. You're going to be 50 next year.
Yes.
You look good for your age.
Exactly. You know, sometimes
40.
Sometimes when the enemy want to break you and destroy you, he's rather prepare you for something better.
Exactly.
So after 10 years now, they started seeing what God was doing with my life. They will now come close. Now I have to take care of them, pay children's fees. Family. Hey. Now they realize that's so they'll be hearing your name, seeing you in papers, everything. They are going to Hajj. You have to support them. I support them when it is during their Ramadan festivity. I buy them rice, other things. Send when their cars break down, they need assistance. I'll come in. They are marrying, all of that, burial. Now they will not bury and leave me not coming. When it is done, I have to be there and join them for the ceremony and everything. Because I keep telling them, when I got saved, I keep telling them that I am not despising the faith. And neither am I against what they practice. But I cannot explain what happened to me and for which purpose I find myself as a Christian. But I believe that if God is for all of us, then he chooses what time and how to be able to pick anybody anywhere to do what he wants him to do. So it is important for them to know that being a Christian does not make me an enemy to them. But by God's own ordained divine whatever, I got born through that line. And through that line also, I have been called to also be a Christian and a pastor at that today.
To be a pastor in ICGC, I know does not come easy. There's a lot you go through. And to be handed a church is another thing. Because I know you serve for a long time. And there should be a high level of trust for them to say, okay, this is your church. For you, the day you were given your church, how did it feel? Did you feel accomplished?
Thank you very much, Stacey. I think to come to that, let me take you on a very fast journey that brought me to this level, like I said. First of all, I'll say something briefly about even my marriage. When I got married, in fact, even what I should get as my suit, I didn't have money to buy a suit. It will interest you to know. I was speaking, every woman that came into my life after I got transited to become a Christian, that I was preparing to marry, rejected me. Because there was no beauty in my life. They couldn't see the future.
There was no beauty, there was no cash.
No. And they cannot even predict the future. Even my pastors I was serving under in church, when they see the woman, they can corner you and tell you that leave Ismaila because Ismaila hope new. And it is not because they were this, but that was a fact. I remember seeing my pastor. My pastor asked me to excuse. He asked, I said, "Do you really think you can be with this guy?" He said, "I'll be with him." And there was no hope, but she accepted me. I remember she has to let go of all her clothes and just come to my level because the shoe I used for my wedding, I didn't have the money. I even have to go and speak over the shoes. In fact, I bind the shoe from anybody buying it. Eventually, when I bought it, it became the only shoe I have. When you see me in my wedding suit, you'll be shocked. I remember after marriage, anytime I want to wear suit, because I don't have the clothes, anytime I want to wear suit, I'll go and take the suit. When I get to church, church folks can talk. Then they will say, now that's who worry But still, my wife will be with me. Sometimes we go to get gari and then go and find red onion with whatever, what do you call it, red palm oil with onion to eat and just to survive. That was what we were doing. And she has been through with me thick and thin. And up to today. I tell people if I buy anything in the world, I've not done anything.
Okay, then now...
You understand, eh?
I rest my case. Life, Papa. Oh, awesome, baby. We greet you. I give you permission. But life. But more. Oh, I mean, this is so inspiring. I mean, you've heard it. How you start now is not what is important. How you finish.
Yeah.
That is what is important. How you're able to hold on and tell yourself, I'm not giving up. I am going to make it to the end. So as I'm turning to you, whatever you're going to open now does not matter. It's for you to keep on opening till you get congratulations. That is what matters.
Yeah.
So please, can we pass it around? So whilst you do that, I would say a very big thank you to our sponsors. We're very grateful to Hisense Darling Hair, Milo, Yas Washing Powder, and Yas Sanitary Pad, Hooch Corn and Choco Flakes to our donors, GTP, Ophelia of ABS Collection, thank you very much for my outfit. To GH Beauty Artistry, thank you very much for my makeup. Abiba Locks, thank you for my hair. And of course, the Stacey's Boutique GH, thank you very much for my shoes. And please, I need you to be responsible. I'm asking you to call Jim Ray now. It's buy two, get one free. Tom. Call Jim Ray now and be a resident of the West Palm Hills residency. All right, so now let's see who got lucky. Hey!
Why are you jealous?
It's like they are jealous. Congratulations, darling. Are you happy?
Yes.
Well, it looks like you want to jump. Should I help you jump? Okay. You jumped. Thank you so much. So that is our winner for the studio edition of the Hisense Super Crazy Giveaway. Yes, I will do crazy things. And you see, we jumped.
Okay. I mean, you may.
Hey. Also, where you green? So from Pacho be na me bie mo so for na ase besisi ni bisa. Okay. Hisense kettle. Whoa. This one, it has to represent in your office.
Yes, I will.
When I visit Milo,
exactly.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
And tell Sofomame that Umbo Life. Why? And before you go, I have another one from Lexter Ghana for you. See me patch up. Branding Yinano. What the Okodampe Master, why? No Shito and Gary movement anymore. This is from Lexter for you. Then we have our restoration souvenir here.
I'm blessed.
Yes, so also I have to represent in your office. So
yes, we'll put it there.
So when I come, after you boil my hot water, then my Milo should be in this cup. You see.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
And then where you be sitting this
you
one,
see. You see. Thank you very much. You're far too kind. So thank you. That has been an amazing edition with Rev Ismaila Awudu, the resident pastor of YAHWEH Temple, ICGC East Legon. If you live around East Legon, make time, visit him, and you never know. Just as he was touched, you could be touched. Always do remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. We'll see you next week.
Welcome to the end of the tunnel. I see a bright light shining through, and it's just for you. There is